All right, so I'm going to show you how to use a Google form in case we need to do some e-learning for students. I think this is the easiest way to assign students work as well as keep track of everything that you're going to have to collect from them. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go into a Google Drive folder where I want to compile all of this. And so I'm going to use my form and assessment folder that's for a specific unit that we are currently on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click New in the top left. When I click New, I'm going to scroll down to More, then to Google Forms to the arrow. And once I click the arrow, then I'm going to click From a Template. So there's already a created template for you. And yes, I want to create it in that shared folder. Once I go to that, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to look for the e-learning check-in. When I click the e-learning check-in, what's going to happen is the template that's already created is going to make a copy just for me to use. So now this is only something that I can access. So I'm going to change this to something that I want to call it. So I would probably want to date it first because we need to keep track of the dates for attendance purposes. So I'm going to call it March 12th, Intelligence AP Psychology. And so this might be on a specific day or module. And I would then want to copy and paste that right here. Down below, letting students know completing this form counts as your daily attendance. And the instructions I'm going to have for them are please reference the Google Slides that are currently in Canvas or Google Classroom or whatever you use. And so students will use that in order to answer the following questions. So I have it already set up where it's collecting their email addresses, which this is the settings up here. I'm going to restrict it to Maine 207. So I'm going to get rid of that just in case they're using personal devices, and I'm going to save it. So at this point, you have everything set up pretty much for you. You have the first name, last name. It's already collecting their email addresses that they'll have to type in. And then I'm going to put in my class periods. I only want to put in mine to make it simple for the students. So I'm going to say first, second, fourth, fifth, and seventh. Then now it's time to start adding questions. The easiest way to add questions would be to click this plus sign right here on the right. So I'm going to hit add question. And first I want to make a multiple choice question. So the first thing I would ask students maybe in this are who came up with the idea of using IQ as a way to assess student abilities. And so I'm going to put in a few different answers. I'm going to put Binet, which is the correct answer. I can put Howard Gardner. And a third answer I'll put down is Terman. And so these are my three answers. And if I want to make sure students get feedback on this and I want to actually track how many of them are getting it right, I'm going to click where it says answer key. Once I click answer key now, I can put and make this as many points as I want. I'll make it 1. And then I'm going to click the correct answer, Binet. If I want, I can give them feedback. I'll probably stay away from that for simplicity's sake. And then I'm going to hit done. Next, I'll add a short answer question. So again, I'll hit the plus sign. And now I'm going to change this by clicking where it says multiple choice and giving them a paragraph. And so now I'm going to ask them to rate the 4 theories of intelligence outlined in the slides based off of which you feel are most important. So I'm going to ask them to do something that's a little bit higher level, and essentially they're going to have a longer answer. And I can continue to add different types of questions. I would probably stick with multiple choice, short answer, and paragraph questions. Then what I want to do is I want to check to see how does this look to students. And so I'm going to click the preview button up here on the right, the little eye icon. And when I click that, now I can see exactly what this shows. So I can now type in my email address. I'll type in Truman Fritz. I'll pick them in period 1. I'm going to pick the correct answer, and I'll say, I thought Howard Gardner theory on 8 multiple intelligences, and so on. So they would continue to type, and then afterwards they would submit their answer. Once they've submitted, they can actually view their score, and they can see that they got a 1 out of 1. It'll only grade the multiple choice questions. I would stick with only grading those personally, and then I would read through what they answered with the short answer. I can go back now and check my Google form. So I would be able to come back to this at any point It's now been created in this folder. It's now changed it to the 312 Intelligence AP Psychology title that I named it. And now I can click responses. So one way to look at the responses is simply scrolling through this response page. This is an easy way to see how well all students are doing, but it is difficult because you can't see individual students' answers. You just see a scrolling list of answers. So next, what I'm going to do is, these steps are pretty important, is I'm going to click this Google Sheets button right here, and I'm going to create a new spreadsheet. And it's going to create the spreadsheet in the same folder that I previously made the Google form in. So now I have the spreadsheet also linked with this Google form. So as students answer this Google form more names and answers will populate. So right now I can see the time, the date, the email, the score, names, and then I can scroll over and see them answering all of the other questions. The important steps to do here to make it as easy on your life as possible is to first, you want to sort A to Z by last name. And so if I sort A to Z by last name here, it's going to put them in alphabetical order. Then I want to sort it A to Z by period number, and it's going to sort it 1 to 9. And essentially then now I have my entire class roster pulled up on here. And as long as they did the work, I can say that they were there that day. And I would have a scrolling list of students listed by last name and class period. So I could pull that up side by side with my attendance, with my grade book. And I can grade each of the students and give them their score for the day to show that they participated. And then if I want to count it for points, I can do that as well. I hope that wasn't too fast for you, and hopefully you were able to pause throughout. And I hope this is helpful for whoever needs to use it. Have a great e-learning experience if you do, and thanks. Bye.